Zombie memberships, subscription creep. Let's begin.
This is Debt Free in 30. Here's your host, Doug Hoyes.
Ted, welcome back. Today we are discussing zombie memberships.
Of course we are.
So unlike last week, you actually get a copy of the script. So you should be pretty happy about that. So you get to start. What is a zombie membership or a zombie subscription?
Yeah, it's an auto-renewing service. I mean, the best example I can think of from my own life, there used to be that Club Penguin thing for the kids. And I had 3 kids. You sign them up and they just auto-renews. And the kids, they stopped doing it after 3 months.
So this is like books you get or something?
No, this was an online, I don't know what the hell it was exactly, some kind of social media thing.
So I'm totally out of the loop on this. But there you go. That Penguin thing,
it's gone now,
that's what we're talking about. Okay, why would you be paying for something that you're not using then? Like what happened?
Well, that's a good question because you just don't think about it, right? So the kids come to you and they say, I'd like to sign up for this. Okay, they sign up for this, and then it just keeps rolling over.
So you forgot about it, and there it is. So,
well, in my own defense is actually my wife forgot about it.
There you go. Okay, so it was not Ted. You're throwing his wife under the bus.
Under the bus.
So, okay, I did some show prep. That's what these piece of papers are. And I came up with some examples of zombie memberships.
There you go.
I did not come up with the Penguin one, though. So we're going to go through the list, and the listener can count how many of these apply to them, and you can give me whatever pops into your head here, because, of course, you only just saw the script 35 seconds ago.
Right.
So the most obvious one to me would be streaming services.
Sure.
So walk me through every streaming service you can think of off the top of your head.
Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Disney,
okay, yep.
Prime has one, right?
Prime, yep. Amazon Prime, yep.
Hulu's Disney now, right?
I don't know. I didn't go that far in my show prep,
okay,
so I don't actually have examples.
3 is enough.
Them. That's enough, yeah. So, and all of those ones, it's a monthly fee.
Yep.
You're paying. I don't know what it costs. $20.
Well, there's only one person subscribing to Netflix on the whole planet, isn't it?
That's right. We're all using that guy's code or whatever.
Right.
So streaming service is kind of the obvious one. I want to watch that show on Netflix, so I sign up.
You know what we should throw in with streaming services now? You should actually throw in your basic cable, because most people are paying for a lot more cable than they actually use anymore, because they're getting their movies and the like from the streaming services.
Okay, that's a good one then.
Yep.
So
they're not going to like me very much.
No, but are they a sponsor? No, they are not. So we get to say whatever we want. So yeah, you're right. With I guess Rogers or Shaw, or I guess they all are owned by the same guy,
Bell
or whatever. You can sign up for the basic package, but then if you want the sports and the movies and the news or whatever. So, and for me, I watch the Super Bowl. And then if the Blue Jays don't suck, I watch the Blue Jays. We won't comment on that.
Right.
And, hockey, we don't have a whole lot of teams.
Right.
So the correct answer there is to get the minimum that you need or nothing. Because you're right. If you're getting your movies somewhere else, then why bother? So, okay, so streaming services and all the cable and satellite, everything. The next obvious one to me was gym memberships.
Yeah, is this still a thing? I mean, I remember obviously in the 80s, the gym was a huge thing, and there's still lots of them out there. So I guess it must be.
It is still a thing, yes. And now the laws have tightened up a little bit in Ontario. You got to have, some other provisions and everything. But
you have to show up once a year?
No, you don't have to do that.
Okay.
But you have to, there has to be some kind of cancellation mechanism. So everybody signs up, of course, in January, New Year's resolutions. I'm going to go to the gym, and the first 2 weeks I go 3 times, and then that's it.
Right.
But it still keeps coming out every month. So that's clearly a zombie type subscription. Software licenses was the other one that popped into my head. So, I sign up for that. Well, whatever that thing is I use. I want the Adobe editing software or something like that. And so you remember in the old days when you were a boy, you'd buy the CD and put it in your DVD.
And never do it again. Right. That's right.
But now, no, everything's a subscription service. You got to keep paying for it. So, okay, I bought that thing because I wanted to edit that picture of the person. And now that I've done it.
Right.
Okay, do I need to?
I haven't edited a picture in how many years?
Well, probably neither have I ever. But which kind of leads into digital apps. Right. So these are the things on your phone. The fitness app, photo storage, games, habit trackers, learn a language. You do the learn a language one all the time, don't you? Sure. So, and again, okay, you're going on vacation to Spain. You want to learn Spanish.
It's all fire and forget stuff.
Right.
They sign you up and you just don't look at it again.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk about how you mitigate against that. But there's a whole ton of those. The fitness apps, you're huge on those, of course.
Sure, right. Yes, you can tell from my waistline.
You're always running and everything. News subscriptions would be the other one. So
you got to pay for news now?
Well, yeah. Any newspaper has the paid tier. You can, you can read 2 articles for free, but if you want to read more than that.
And I think we're paying for the same one 3 or 4 times, right?
Probably.
You, me, and
yeah, probably. We all read the same one. So,
right.
And again, I want to emphasize here, there is nothing wrong with paying for stuff.
Right.
In fact, if nobody ever paid for stuff, there would be no stuff.
As long as you're getting value from what you're paying for.
And so I think, okay, I want to be able to read the news. Great. I go to that site. I pay for it. That's fantastic. You just want to make sure you're actually using it.
Right.
Meal delivery plans.
People still doing that?
That's what I'm told. So, and again, there's the meal prep service, right? So they send you the thing every weekend saying, okay, here's what you can order for next week, tick. Well, if you don't tick, they're still sending you the basic whatever it is.
Yep.
Something. So, okay, you got to decide if that makes sense. You already mentioned Amazon Prime.
Right.
And then, one that's near and dear to your heart.
Oh, geez.
Credit monitoring tools.
Sure. So Borrow Well, Credit Karma.
Right.
There's some more, I'm sure.
Mogo, I think, has one. Yeah. And again, these are, well, I don't want to go on too many tangents here, but you and I are not big fans of them.
Correct.
And the reason we're not big fans of them is they tend not to be 100% accurate.
Well, even more than that, it's free to just go directly to Equifax or TransUnion and look at your credit report.
Yes. And so we are a big believer in doing that.
Right.
I guess if I'm going to be buying a house in a year and I want the highest possible credit score and I want to make sure there's no errors and I want to be looking at it in real time and everything else and I want to see my score and everything, okay, maybe it's worth paying $20 a month for.
No.
But I don't think so. I think you're right. You get your credit report, you look what's on it, you correct the errors and move on. Mm-hmm. The score itself is far less important. But again, you sign up for them and then you're getting them forever. Yep. Okay, so I would like you to give me the 4 key characteristics of a zombie service.
Okay. So the biggie, obviously, it auto-renews.
Auto-renews,
and so it's just a charge that's going through either monthly, quarterly, or annually. And the sneakiest ones with the lowest numbers are the monthly ones.
Right. And because it's only $8.
Right. And you see it every month. You don't think about it. If you get it once a year, you go, that $8 fee is now $96. That's probably enough that you go, what the hell is this?
Yeah. And the key word there is auto, which means you, the user, once you set it, it just keeps on going.
Right.
There's no user intervention required. So, and of course, it's linked to your bank account or your credit card. Mm-hmm. So the money just keeps coming in.
Flying, that's right.
So, okay, number 1 is auto-renewal. The second one, what makes it a zombie service?
Well, so, zombies are, right? The monsters that are undead. All of us look like that in the morning.
That'll be the thumbnail for the show there. Ted.
But so the trick is it's something you don't actually use.
Right.
Or you underuse it.
Yeah, or you've stopped using it.
Because if you're actively using it, there's just
it's not a zombie.
And there's a higher perceived value because you're actively using it.
Yeah.
This is a fire and forget thing.
Right. So if I'm using that fitness app every day, well, great. I'm getting great value of it.
Yep.
Okay, so auto-renewal, lack of usage. What else makes something a zombie service?
Well, you've completely forgotten you have it. Right. So you're not looking at your bill or it's coming in quarterly and whatever reason, you're not using it at all.
Yep. And you're right. If it's a quarterly or an annual thing, I only get one reminder every quarter or annually. And if it's a small number every month, it's like, okay.
Well, and who knows what they call it too. Depending on how many transactions you have going through your account.
Right.
You may not even recognize it.
It's such, yeah, exactly. They don't tell you this is your zombie service. They put some other code with it. Okay, and so then the obvious reason we're doing this discussion is reason number 4. What's the problem with a zombie service?
It's the term you're using is zombie spend. It's money that's just disappearing.
You're wasting
unnecessarily.
Money.
It's not doing anything for you.
You're wasting money. So that's what you want in your mind. Does something auto renew? I don't use it much. I'm not even hardly aware of it, and it's costing me money.
Right.
And that's the big problem, right?
Right. You're wasting money. That's the big problem.
That's it. It's as simple as that. Thanks for watching and listening.
The show isn't about burning money. This is when we're trying to find ways to help you get out of debt.
You are wasting your money. It's simple as that. So so now we get to the audience participation section of the podcast.
That'll be exciting.
Which is kind of hard because we pre-record this. So this is not a live broadcast you're watching, but if you are watching on YouTube, click all the buttons because that
you can go to your phone and pretend to call us.
That's
that would be exciting.
Or you can shout at us. That's what most people do. So here is the question for the audience.
Okay.
How much do you think you are spending each month on zombie subscriptions? So there was a survey, again, show prep here, done back in 2022, where the average person guessed that they were spending $86 a month.
On zombie service.
Well, on subscriptions. I'm sure
stuff.
they didn't use.
Okay.
So you think about it. Okay, so Netflix is, I don't know, what's Netflix, $20 or something?
I don't know.
And probably Disney is the same. And the fitness thing is.
Let's assume they're all $20.
Yeah, so 80, that would, you got 4 or 5 of them. So that kind of makes sense. But when they actually looked at the person's numbers, they were actually spending $219 a month.
So they thought they had 4. Turns out they've got 11.
Yeah.
Holy jumping.
Exactly right. So you do the math. Okay, that means you could be wasting over $2,500 per year.
Which you could use to buy me a present.
Exactly. and you can send them right here to Debt Free in 30 for Ted. Right. I mean, $2,500, that's like a month's rent.
That's a real number.
That's a real number. Yeah, that's not insignificant. So, okay, so now we get to the practical advice section, which normally we don't do till the end, but what the hell, we're only 10 minutes into the show. Let's get to it. So $2,500 a year.
Right.
You're wasting $2,500 a year. That's a big number. Mm-hmm. So what is the first step to address this?
Well, it's the same first step that you use if you're going to put together a financial plan or a budget. We don't like that word, but
we do not, but we use
it. So you're going to take a look at your bank account and your credit cards to go through and identify what are these recurring expenses. Call it an audit, call it an assessment. Yeah, you're gonna have to have a look.
An audit is a good word because I agree with you. You got to go through it. So pull out,
and you can't just do 1 month.
Yeah, pull out. 3 months would be probably ideal,
right,
except for the ones that are annual. And so, like, nobody gets a bank statement anymore. They don't mail those out anymore. So maybe they do. I don't think anyone gets them. So the obvious way to do it, if you can, is go into your banking app and download a year's worth of statements.
You could do that.
And, in my banking app, I can set the date range. So, okay.
Are you then going to sort them? So that you can see them?
Dump them into a spreadsheet.
Yep.
And I don't think that's all that advanced.
No.
It's not that hard to do because it'll say you download it as a spreadsheet. I put it in.
Everyone younger than us can do that.
Everybody,
yes. Just about everybody.
Exactly. And I think even old people know what a spreadsheet is. So you download it and then, I would sort it by the name.
Mm-hmm.
Because, look at that thing comes up 12 times.
Right.
I would also sort by dollar amount because I want to see big, but I also want to see small because that's where a lot of these are.
That's really what we're looking for.
And so you go through and you circle them, you highlight them, whatever. And it's not just your bank statement, of course.
It's got to be your credit cards.
Credit card statement, any other place that you spend money. Those would be the two obvious ones. I don't know where else, but you maybe have more than one bank account.
Right. Well, and you got to do this for your spouse too.
So yes, if you got a different credit card or a different bank statement or something. So you want to flag all of the recurring charges. Now, some banks have subscription tracking tools that are built in with them.
Okay.
And no, they don't call them that.
No.
They call them, you can categorize.
Mm-hmm.
So the bank will say, oh, that's groceries.
Is there a zombie category?
I think there should be. I don't know if you can make up categories or not because I've never used them. But again, put a note in the comments, explain to us how it really works. But I'm an old school guy. I dump things into a spreadsheet and then I can manipulate it however I want.
An old school guy would print it.
That's right. Exactly. Well, maybe that's what I do at the end. But the banking apps will say, oh, we know that that's groceries. We know that that's a restaurant. We know that's a whatever. So something that it has trouble categorizing.
What is this Asian adult material site going on there? That's not good.
What's that all about? So some of the things it has trouble categorizing, that's probably more likely to be some kind of zombie thing because it can't identify it. Like if you go to the grocery store every week, okay.
Yep. Well, actually, I would think that most of the most common zombie things, all these subscription services and that, I bet they have those categorized because they see them so often.
It could be. Yeah. It could be.
But anyway.
But the point is you want to identify them. And you're right. You could go old school, print them out, get your highlighter and highlight through it, whatever you got to do. So this might take you 5 minutes, might take you an hour, but it is time well spent because there's potentially $2,500 a year in savings there.
I don't know what you get paid by the hour, but if I could save $2,500 in an hour, that's a pretty good waste of money.
And I don't believe I get paid $2,500 an hour, so it's definitely worth it. Now, there's another area that is also important here. We talked about credit cards and bank statements. Well, what about your PayPal account? or you use your phone and you beep it and it goes through Apple or Google Play or
something,
or your Google Play subscriptions or your Apple ID subscriptions or whatever.
I don't have any of those things.
I don't know how these things work either. Like PayPal, I understand, because there are some sites where it's like, yeah, okay, I got to buy that thing, but I don't want to give them my credit card. I'll do it through PayPal.
Right.
Well,
so I'll give them my credit card.
Yeah, that's right. PayPal has my credit card, so it's still floating through, but it would still be a good idea to go through those transactions. And well, you got to try to identify absolutely everything. Okay, so now I've got this list of all my zombie services and memberships. And I think the next step is obvious, but you get to say it anyways. What's the next step?
Cancel them.
There you go. Thank you very much for
and
coming.
Good luck being able to do that easily.
Well, this is the question here. And so I'm going to tell you a story, which is long and boring, kind of like Abe Simpson.
Okay.
But, so here at Hoyes Michalos, we're in the mothership here in Kitchener recording this. Many years ago, before the big events of 2020, we used something called GoToMeeting.
Right.
You remember that?
I remember.
And of course, now people use Zoom and Teams, and Skype is now dead. In case you hadn't heard about that,
I never used Skype.
It's officially dead. But so with GoTo, that was how we all did it in those days.
Yep.
And so we had an annual subscription for the firm that we would use for our meetings and whatever.
Okay.
So about, I don't know, a year ago or 2 years ago, I was like, well, I don't need this anymore.
Yep.
And it was an annual subscription, so you don't see it. So of course, I'd log into the portal. Well, your password's changed. We got a new interface. Boom, boom, boom. So I got to read. Blah, 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 blah. So I finally get there. Well, there is no cancel button.
Oh, okay.
That's not a thing.
Right.
So if you want to cancel, you have to talk to a human being. And of course, there's no phone numbers or anything. It's all through some chat interface or something and whatever. So finally, I just said, well, forget it. I went in, I deleted my credit card from it. So they can't charge me. And so now I'm getting all these emails saying you didn't pay your bill.
Right. Is that affecting your credit rating?
Well, probably. I'm probably going to go to jail for it too. But like, okay, why should I have to be on hold for an hour waiting for a human being to then, when the person answers, you've still got to authenticate yourself. How do we know who you are and whatever? Right. And like, companies, of course, should make it easy to cancel, but you know why they don't.
Right. Because you won't put up with it and you'll keep getting your money.
Money. It all comes down to money. So there are a few of these cancellation traps that kind of get built into it.
Makes sense.
The first one being, well, you got to phone us.
Got to talk to a person.
Okay, well that puts up a lot of friction. It's much harder to do.
Yep.
There's also, and you mentioned cable TV, there's the pause it or cancel it one.
Right.
So if you like to watch the baseball games in the summer, but you're watching something else in the winter, you can cancel it. Or you've got the satellite up at your big fancy cottage, you know, your 100 million square foot thing on the lake there.
Sure.
Neither one of us has one of those.
That's
but
right. We're not cottage people.
But okay, I pause it for the summer when I'm away, or I pause it for the winter, whatever. Okay. But then when it's finished pausing,
it starts up again.
Right. So if you want to cancel, don't just be doing the pausing.
Right.
And then of course there's the old, trial. You get the first 30 days for free.
And then we'll start charging.
And then we'll start charging you. So we're going to talk about what you do in that particular case. But there's all these little traps. So, okay, what do I do if I can't figure out how to cancel it? I can't find the cancel button. I can't find give me a tip here. Give me some practical advice here on it.
Well, so I would think the first thing you would do is look to see if they have some kind of customer service contact. But if they're making it that difficult, somebody else has been in your shoes before. Google it, Reddit it, go to the AI, ChatGPT. Yep.
GPT,
sorry, there you go. What do I know?
That's right. Ted's big on the AI. So, and of course, everything I do is based on AI these days. I haven't had an independent thought since 1972. So yeah, you go into Google, how to cancel the, GoToMeeting thing or whatever, and find out from there. AI, Reddit, whatever. There's a couple of other options too. One would be if you tried to cancel it, or even if you did cancel it, well, you can talk to them and say, I want a refund for what I paid.
Right.
Because I had tried to cancel it earlier. Yeah, they might give it to you. They might not.
What's the worst that could happen?
The other one, of course, is your payment is coming from your credit card.
Yeah. So just stop it.
Go to the credit card company. Say, yep, I want you to put a stop on this. Okay, so now I got some pro tips here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that new thing you want to try. Let's say it's the fitness app because you're tracking your, I don't know, whatever.
Let's try that.
Let's try that. So you get a 30-day free trial.
Okay.
So you log in. What you could do is immediately cancel it.
Yeah.
Because I got 30 days. Okay, I want to cancel, 29 days from now.
Yeah, at least make a note to yourself 29 days from now to cancel.
Right. Yep. And that would be the other obvious thing. Put a note in your calendar, cancel it. So now maybe the service is great. Okay, fine. Then don't cancel it.
Right.
It's wonderful.
But then it's not going to qualify as a zombie app because you're using it.
Right. But then you still have to be mindful of what
is going on.
Was going on. And I guess that kind of circles back to the audit comment. So you did your audit, you got this list of things. You go through and you cancel them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of them you don't cancel because you're actually using them.
Right.
So how do you keep track of what you're using? I guess you keep a list is the simple
Makes
answer.
sense. Some sort of subscription tracker.
Yeah. And there are subscription trackers out there.
Okay.
Templates or apps, or you could go old school and have a piece of paper. Here's my 5 things. And
there's no doubt you will lose.
Yeah. Well, and I guess your idea of the note, the reminder. Right. So, okay, maybe what I should do is every 3 months put a note in my calendar that here are the 6 subscriptions I'm using. Do I still want them?
Right.
If not, go and cancel them. So cancel immediately upon signing up if you're just doing it as a trial. Yep. Keep a subscription tracker, a piece of paper, an app, or whatever.
Okay.
You could follow the 1 in, 1 out rule. So
also applicable to wives.
Boom. Ted,
you can reach us at farber.ca.
I sure hope Ted's wife doesn't listen to this podcast.
Or my children.
Or your children. Yeah, I'm pretty sure your kids don't. I mean, maybe they do, but if you get a new subscription, you cancel the old one.
Makes sense.
So I've only got 3 on the run.
Right.
That would definitely make sense for streaming services and maybe for.
And you certainly don't need 6 fitness apps.
Probably not, unless you're like super fit. So.
Right.
Frequently check in on the manage subscriptions section of Google. Okay, gives you some other ideas. Mm-hmm. And then watch out for auto renewals on annual memberships. So you mentioned this earlier. So a few different annual memberships I can think of. CAA.
Sure.
Because I drive an old car, so it's always breaking down. So I got to have that one. Now, that one's a little easier because every year they send me a bill. Mm-hmm. Do you want to renew?
Right.
But I think you can set it up on auto-renew. In fact, I know you can because their deal is, hey, if you put it on auto-renew, we give you a discount.
Right.
It's $5 less or whatever. So you got to be conscious of that. Costco, I think they've got an annual membership.
They do?
Maybe it comes off your card every month.
Yeah, they charge it once every 12 months.
I don't know how it works. Insurance. Okay, well, I kind of have to renew my car insurance.
Yeah, it depends on how you're paying it, but and they're required to give you notice 30 days before, and if you don't renew, they're required to tell you that you haven't renewed and that they're notifying the police.
So it's
at least in Ontario,
it's much less likely you're going to forget something like that. But I mean, if you sold your second car 6 months ago and forgot to take the insurance off, then that would be an obvious one.
Right.
Cell phone providers. They often bundle apps or subscriptions. So there's 2 big companies in this country, Rogers and Bell, neither of whom are sponsors of the show. Rogers
have purchased services from both of them.
Yes. And both of them are not just cell phone providers. They're also internet providers. They're TV providers. Right. They own ball teams.
All sorts
and all the rest
of stuff.
Of it. Yep. So it's very common for them to bundle things together. Oh, you get your cell phone, but you also get your TV and the this and the this and the this.
Right.
Do I need that other thing? Probably not. Maybe you do. Cancel it if you can. Some banks also offer subscription insurance or alerts. Okay. I don't know. Check your bank, see what you can do. Okay. Now I got a final tip here, which I think is the best of all. So thank you for listening for the last 23 minutes, everybody, because you're finally getting to the good one. So you want to sign up for that thing, but you're not sure if you're going to use it or keep it or whatever. So what you could do is instead of giving them your main credit card, you give them a virtual credit card, or a prepaid credit card,
a gift card,
or a gift. Well, you can.
That's what it is.
There are gift cards, or loadable, or prepaid, or whatever.
Yep.
So you need a credit card to subscribe to the thing. So you go and you get a virtual prepaid card. You put $20 on it or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. You sign up, you use the card. And then when it comes time to renew, well, the card's going to bounce because there's nothing else on it. Or I guess you got to put more money on it. So that's a way to get out of the auto renewal thing because you are forcing yourself, I got to reload the money. Okay. And that to me puts a bit of friction on it, right?
Right.
Because, oh crap, I got to go transfer $20 from that to that.
Is it worth doing?
Is it worth doing?
Right.
And if you're lazy, this is going to work to your advantage.
If you completely forget about it. Unless, of course, again, you might take a hit on your credit report.
Yeah. And I guess for the $20, oh well.
Yep.
So there are a ton of virtual cards out there. Mm-hmm. And when I say virtual, I just mean, well, there's no actual piece of plastic. But I mean, Coho, for example, is one that a lot of our clients use. And again, they're not a sponsor, but they can reach us if they want to.
Right.
And they have a reloadable card. Mm-hmm. Very simple. You go online, you sign up for it.
Good for kids.
Yep.
Good for people that don't want to overspend.
Yeah, because you have to put the money. It's basically kind of like a fancy debit card.
Right.
You have to have the cash. You put it on there. But I believe it's a MasterCard. I could be wrong. So it works pretty much everywhere. And they will send you a physical card too. But you can only spend what you put on it. Well, Simple is another huge one. Again, not a sponsor of the show, but a lot of people have their investments there, their TFSA, their RSP. You get you can do your tax return pretty much for free through them in most cases. And then they've also got now the credit facilities or whatever. Right. So again, if it's a loadable thing, you can't get into much trouble. I'm told that American Express Cobalt cards,
I've never even heard of that.
Neither have I. I don't even know what cobalt is. That's some kind of mineral, I guess.
It's a metal.
Is it better than gold? I don't know. Rarer. Okay. They will give you virtual numbers. So it's like, okay, I'm going to only use that credit card number for that particular service. Neat. So I know exactly where it's coming from. Apparently a bunch of the big banks have them as well, RBC and so on. So I think anything you can do to make it harder is better.
Well, you want to de-automate as much as possible.
Right.
Because the way they get you is they automate something that you just forget about.
Yeah. And
we're all guilty of it.
Yeah. And that's really the key. So we talk about set it and forget it all the time here. So you got your cell phone bill that is $100 a month. My advice is program it. You get paid every 2 weeks. Automatically send $50 to the cell phone company every 2 weeks.
Right.
Set it and forget it. That's using automation to your advantage. Mm-hmm. But the flip side is if I'm paying out money for something maybe I don't want, I don't want it to be automated. Mm-hmm. But of course, a subscription is automated. That's what a subscription is by its very nature. So you have to find a way to make it more difficult as opposed to easier. And that's where the whole, prepaid cards, reloadable cards, whatever, come in on it. So that's our advice on all of those things. Do you have any other comments on that other than the obvious, which is you got to...
Well, just remember, folks, we're talking about here potentially $2,500 a year. So it's not that we're saying, get rid of that subscription because it's going to save you $10. $2,500 is not chump change.
Yeah, and what we're saying is you make the decision. This isn't up to us. I don't care what screen.
No one else is as interested in your finances as you are.
It's all about you.
Yep.
So if you feel you are getting great value from that, fantastic.
Exactly.
Keep
paying for it.
It's fantastic. But something you got great value for a year ago, maybe not so much anymore.
Right.
Maybe your Skype subscription, well, of course, it doesn't exist anymore, but that's a perfect example. You still are on AOL, aren't you?
AOL. What was that?
MySpace and all the other ones. Yeah, if you're not using it anymore, then get rid of it.
I've only just figured out what Hotmail is.
There you go. So Ted's he's with it.
Right.
So that's the point of this show. You're the boss. You decide what you should be using.
Our focus here is on different ways to deal with your debt, right? So one of the ways to make sure you reduce your debt is to reduce your expenses. Perfect place to begin with reducing your expenses are these zombie ones because you're not getting any benefit from it anyway.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's pretty easy to cut something that has no value for you.
Right.
A lot harder to cut my rent or my groceries because that's
you won't notice it.
Right.
So you'll cut it. The money won't be going out anymore, but you won't realize, okay, I only have 2 streaming services instead of 6.
Right.
I wouldn't use them anyway.
So this is really a no-brainer. I think it takes an hour a year of your time. Do the audit. Find out what you don't need. Cancel them. Keep track of which ones you've got. And you should be good to go.
Do it for New Year's. Do it for your birthday.
Or do it today.
Right.
Like, I don't know if it's your birthday today, but if it is, happy birthday and go ahead and do this. So there you go. I'm going to close with a challenge for everyone listening, and that is today, right now, after this show, which is going to end in 45 seconds, take 10 minutes, review all of your subscriptions, and cancel the zombie ones.
There you go.
Simple as that. And I like your idea. on my birthday, on New Year's. It helps if your birthday's right in the middle of the year, as mine is.
Or in January 1st.
Or January 1st.
Then you have less selection.
Yeah, that's right. So make it a regular habit. I'm changing the batteries in my fire alarm thingy-dooey, smoke detector. Get them done, because $2,500 a year is not irrelevant. We have a new show every week. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the different ones. So you want to set it up to auto-renew, Ted.
Right. It doesn't want to be a zombie subscription. You want to actually listen every week.
That's right. So you hit the notification bell and the subscription thing. Now, the beauty of it is it doesn't cost anything. It's completely free, so you're not costing yourself any money by subscribing. So please subscribe, leave a note, and we will be back to see you next week. Thanks for watching and listening. Until next week, I'm Doug Hoyes. That was Debt Free in 30.